What's going on, football fans? It's your host Nico from Milanistas 360. What's going on? Today is an awesome day of football. What can I say? A lot of great matches today, and we'll be getting into that in a little bit. Plus the defensive tactics of each coach. First off, I'd like to say everybody for joining today. Thanks for the support. All right, let's keep this channel growing. All right, with that being said, let's get this show going. Let's go. And we're live from sunny Mexico. What's going on, football fans? So let's get into the games today. I know some of the games have started already. Apologies for being late. Came up with a family emergency. All is good on this end now. So let's get right into it. Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Man City. Two huge matchups today. So according to the predicted lineups, might have changed since then. It looks like Arsenal is going with Raya in goal, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, two amazing center backs, probably the two best center backs in Europe today, pairings. You got Tamayosi at your left back, Jorginho, Italian Stallion, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, Saka, Havertz up front, and Martinelli. Defensively, Arsenal's been stellar, giving up the least amount of goals in Europe, putting up some great numbers defensively. Offensively, they've been struggling, right? So in that case, it's going to be a tough match for them against Bayern Munich, especially scoring goals away. Let's break down Bayern Munich's starting 11. Let's see what Tuchel's got cooked up today. Might have changed again since the game already started. You got your Neuer in goal, veteran Kimmich, Delight, Dier, Davis, Pavlovic, Goretzka, Sane, Muller, Musiala, stellar player, and Kane. Personally, I would have liked to see Kim in there. He's, for me, one of the best center backs. Had a great season with Napoli in Serie A. Looks like a couple injuries they have today. Got Boya, promising defender, Sarr's out, and Buckman's out. So Arsenal defensively with Arteta recently been playing. They used to play a high line. However, last few games, especially in EPL, they've been a lot more defensively sound, not taking as many chances, playing more of a low line, sitting back, being that they do trust their back line in being solid. Obviously don't want to give up too many goals. They're playing it safe. Something that Arteta's been doing a lot lately, being that probably to conserve the legs of his players, not to press for 90 minutes, being that they want to win the EPL and push for that, next step in Champions League. And with Tuchel plays a defensive line. He plays a high line. We got Kane pressing, and his midfield is Bud. However, recently, in the last few games that I've watched, being that his midfielders have been inconsistent with injuries and not being fit, it could be just wear and tear from the season too. They're not as pressing as much as they used to, or as effectively. Their back line has been questionable as well. I know he's questionable decisions with the center back pairings as well. So it'll be interesting, especially at home, being that they need to win this game because that's like will be difficult. Let's see, I might be making a mistake here. Is Arsenal playing home today? They might be playing home. Let's take a look here what their stats are. Oh, Emirates Stadium. Never mind, apologies. I had the wrong date up. So it looks like they're playing home. So Arsenal, I think for sure, being they're playing home today, will take a little bit more chances, possibly to get a, more, go into that second leg with a bigger score line. Obviously, we saw with Inter, with Atletico, they only won 1-0 at Milan, and they paid the price in that second leg. So my prediction is Arsenal's probably going to take a little bit more chances today, and see if Bayern Munich can exploit that. I don't see it. Obviously, since they're playing home, Arsenal will probably win this game because they've just been in a hot streak, especially at home. I just don't see Bayern Munich winning this game. And my prediction is probably like a 2-1 score line today. I just don't see Bayern Munich having too many chances. Maybe Musiala might create. Kane might be able to create since he's played against Arsenal in the past, being that he's been in England for so long, previously playing in Bundesliga, and he knows those opponents and the systems that they play. Second game we'll get into Real Madrid and Man City. That's a matchup of heavyweights, man. I wish they would have played in the finals. Damn. So, according to predicted lineup for Madrid, again, it could have been changed since the game already started. Lunin, Carvajal, Rudiger, Militao, two great veteran players, Mendy, Tuchemani, Kraus, Valverde, Bellingham. That's an amazing player, by the way, Bellingham. What a season that kid's having. Rodrigo, Vinicius. Oof. Offensively, Madrid looks strong. Defensively, yeah, they're pretty solid as well, too. They've been playing a lot better defensively the last few games. And it looks like Courtois is obviously still injured. Alaba has been injured for a while, too. Those are the two main injuries for Madrid. And for Man City, they're probably going with their typical lineup. They're going with Ederson in the back goal, Lewis, Stones, Diaz, Akanji, Silva, Rodri, De Bruyne, Doku, Haaland, Foden. So defensively, Man City does have a couple key injuries. Walker's out, big miss. I could definitely see Vinicius and Rodrigo, who likes to drift over to the left side, because Carlo does give a lot of freedom to his players to cut in, to a lot of movement up front. And so I could see them targeting that side of the pitch today. And, I don't see how Man City is going to win this game, even though they're strong. Pep's got his team prepped for sure. I just see Real Madrid, especially, I believe they asked UEFA to close the roof off because they want more sound in the stadium. So they're trying to get every advantage they can because Carlo really wants revenge against Man City from last season. So let's see what happens there. But defensively, Pep's got his work cut out for him. Obviously, with those key injuries today to Walker, it's going to change his tactics a little bit. Possibly he's going to have one of his midfielders do some more defensive work to double up on Vinicius or Rodri. Pick your poison there, because those two can hurt you at any moment of the game. And Madrid, defensively, they do press, not as much as some other teams, but their midfield is solid. They put a lot of work in. They control the tempo of the game, especially with the injuries they've had with their center backs early on in the season, and they had an injury to one of their left back as well, and they had another kid play for a little bit of time. And I believe a couple of times this season, even Carlos played Tuchemani in the center back, and he's played pretty decent actually. So I do see a really good game today. My prediction would be that Real Madrid is going to edge out Man City today. It's going to be a close match, but I do see defensively Man City is weak today. Rodri's not a really defensive midfielder. He does a lot of work, offensively as well. De Bruyne, he's an attacking midfielder as well. But, with that key injury of Walker being out, that's a huge, huge loss for Man City. So keep out for that and see if Pep makes any defensive changes to, bolster that side of the pitch today. And then let's get into tomorrow's matchups. A lot more great matches tomorrow. Damn. PSG, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid, Dortmund. And so Barcelona, PSG. Looks like PSG is playing at home. And the predicted lineup for that is that we have Donnarumma has been solid. He's probably had one of his best seasons in the keeper. Zaire Emery, Marquinhos, Hernandez, Nuno Mendes. So he's back in the lineup. Nuno Mendes. He's a nice left back, Portuguese player. Vitania, Ugarte. He's a decent midfielder. He hasn't played as great in the last few games that I've seen him. He's disappeared. Fabian Ruiz, Dembele, Mbappe, Barcola. Defensively, PSG, for me, their back line's been their weak point this season. The couple of games that I've watched, they're not supremely strong in the back. And obviously, I'm not a big fan of Marquinhos. He's not even playing. He's not even a starter for the national team of Brazil anymore. There's a lot more talented center backs from Brazil than Marquinhos. He's a great leader, but I think at this point he ain't ready to play against these top tier teams, especially in Champions League. Maybe in League One, but if you're trying to win a trophy outside of your league, domestic league, that back line's not going to cut it for you. Obviously, offensively, there's something else. Dembele and Mbappe, those guys will, score your goals at any time. And it looks like Hakimi is suspended and Kimpembe is out. Barcelona is starting 11. To Sturgeon, solid veteran keeper. Wende, Ronald. You got Araujo, good center back. Kubarsi, 17-year-old center back. The kid's a stud. And I watched him and Araujo when they were playing against Osimhen and versus in Napoli. And man, those two put Osimhen, put him in check, especially Kubarsi. The kid's got the pace. He was very composed in the back, can break the lines with some really great passing range as well. This kid's going to be a star, in my opinion. You got Cancelo, De Jong, Christensen, Gundogan, solid midfield. Yamal, stud of a right wing. Lewandowski and Rafinha. Not too bad. It looks like Gavi's out, Pedri's out. And let's get into some stats here for them. So PSG, from what I've seen with their team, like I said before, defensively they're not the strongest team out there. Even when they played Milan in the group stages of the Champions League, they weren't too impressive with me. There was a couple of chances we could have scored more goals on them, and we could have beaten them as well. We just didn't. We weren't clinical enough from Milan's side. So defensively, I give the edge in this game. I give to Barcelona, being that their lines, especially the center back pairings, are top notch. Specifically, Araujo, veteran center back. He's been playing excellent this season. And you have Kubarsi. He's getting mentored by him. The kid's going to be, he's slowly becoming one of my favorite center backs in the game. And actually one of my favorite defenders in the game as well. And look at some of these numbers. It looks like, let's pull it up here. Let's go to 1 versus 1. Really good site to compare teams and players. It breaks down a lot of cool stats. So it looks like they give the edge out to Barca, especially on. Well, matter of fact, this is interesting. They give it the edge to PSG. I disagree with that. Barcelona, for me, has got a better defense at this point as well. Big edge, actually. So I'm not too sure how they're putting those stats up. I disagree, but that's okay. And finally, the last matchup for tomorrow, we have Atletico Madrid Dortmund. Actually, this is my favorite game of the week. First of all, Diego Simeone has been one of my favorite defensive coaches in the last, decade. Being that he's has this really aggressive mentality to go after another team with a high press, zonal pressing. And a few times I've noticed he's done some man-oriented pressing as well. It's kind of combination between zonal, like a man pressing, and zonal pressing, a combination of the two, which a lot of coaches are doing nowadays, just to kind of confuse their opponents. So for me, this is a great matchup. Let's break down the starting lineups for this game for tomorrow. It looks like Madrid's lineup: Oblak in goal, Lina, Jimenez. Sorry, butchering his name. Azpilicueta, probably butchering the Portuguese name. I apologize. Not great with names sometimes. Jimenez again, Witzel, Molina, De Paul, Gok, Marcos, Llorente, Morata, Griezmann. Depay's out. Hermosa is doubt. He's doubtful for this game. And let's see what Borussia Dortmund's got cooked up for their lineup. Kobel, Ryanson, Hummels, and that guy is something else. He's had a great season. He's older. He's one of the older guys on that team. He's a veteran. I know he gave us problems as well when Milan played him in the group stages too. Hummels was a beast against us. Schlotterbeck, Matson, Tottenberg. We got Emre Can, Sancho, Brent, Adamame, Fulkrug, and doubtful is Milan. And they're playing. Atletico is playing at home, which they've been extremely great this season. I mean, damn. When they played against Inter in that second leg, that press was at full force. And you notice the difference if you watch those two legs versus Inter. In that first leg in Milan, their pressing, Atletico's was a little bit off. Their timing was off. That's all it takes. If you have one or two players not pressing at the right time or not 100% fit, it's not going to work. It's not going to be effective. And Inter, they abused them in that game. Even though they only scored one goal, they were able to break their press super easy. It seems like to me Milan was playing with an extra man that day. But however, that second leg, they had it on point. And, this game, being that Bayern is playing at home, I can definitely see them taking it to Dortmund. I don't see Dortmund winning this game at all, just because of that defensive, high pressure that Atletico is going to put on Dortmund early from the game. So for me, that's the highlight of this week, those two, that game right there, Atletico Madrid, Dortmund. And I have Madrid winning 2-0. I could see Griezmann scoring a couple of goals, he's probably one of their best offensive players. Morata's pretty good too. But these are a bunch of excellent games. I mean, you don't want to miss them. If you're a fan of any of these teams or just football themselves, you have to tune in to these games. For me personally, like I said, being that I'm a defensive minded person who love defense, that's my thing. Studying the history of pressing defenses, of the history of coaches, how they set up their tactics in certain games, teams, players, you name it. Seeing Arsenal in this leg of the stage with their defense, Alaba and Gabriel, seeing, Barcelona with Kubasi, Atletico Madrid with their players, the way they press as a team, Dortmund with Hummels, solid defensive player as well. So I'm excited, and I cannot wait to watch these games today. All right, that's all I have today. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I apologize again for the slight. All right, and make sure you tune in for the next Milanese coming up this weekend. All right, take care. Be good. All right, games and fun.